welcome to episode 1 of the Wonderwolle podcast. You'll have to excuse me if I'm a little bit nervous because this is the very first time that I've done any type of video recording at all on the iPhone. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking, I have to say. It's hard to sit in a room and just talk to a camera. But hey, let's give it a go because I am really excited to be able to do a podcast. I absolutely love the podcast world. There's so many podcasts out there already, I know, but it just seems like such a wonderful place to connect with other people who enjoy this wonderful hobby that we call knitting. So a little bit about me. My name is Andrea. On Ravelry, I am known as AndeeJ, AndeeJ. On Instagram, I'm known as Healthy Kids Happy Mama, MAMA, on the end there. I am on Instagram quite a lot. It's my preferred social media, I would have to say. I do have a Twitter account. It's @healthy2happy. But I don't really go on Twitter all that much. And I also have a blog, I've had a blog for a very long time, and that is www.healthykidshappymama.com. And you can find the link to my blog on my Ravelry profile, on my Ravelry profile and on my Instagram profile. So please feel free to add me as a friend on Ravelry or Instagram, and go and check out the blog. I'm going to put some links to the episodes on the blog. So if you're looking for the show notes, in any case, you'll be able to find them on the blog. So a little bit about me. I am a mum of 2 little boys, one who is 6 and one who is 4. I'm married and we live in Canberra, Australia. And I started knitting about 6-ish years ago. I was attending a play group with a few people who would sit and knit while the kids all played. And I used to knit English style and I hated it. I couldn't knit. I thought it was so slow and just I couldn't make any progress on anything. And there's a lovely lady who I actually go to Knit Guild with now, and she would sit there and she'd be knitting on socks and she'd be knit, and I looked at her one day and I said, "How do you knit that fast?" And she said, "Oh well, I'll show you." And then I realized that she was knitting a completely different way to how I knit, and she said something about continental, and so I went away and I looked up on YouTube and I taught myself how to knit continental. And the very next week I went back to playgroup and I said, "Hey Kate, I taught myself how to knit continental and it's amazing." And I've never gone back. I have tried to teach myself the flicking method of knitting English, but my gauge was all out and I just can't, for some reason I can't tension the wool very well in my right hand. But hey, if something works, I say stick to it. So that's what I've done. I also do a little bit of sewing here and there. Sewing, I have to say, is my first hobby love. I just can't get to sew as much as I would like to. And in fact, that's the reason why knitting has taken over my world and I have become a little obsessed, in fact. I would find that, you know, my sewing cutting table was the kitchen table, and I was always leaving things out all over the kitchen table and having to put things away and take things out and put things away. And then I, for whatever reason, picked up my knitting and I was like, hey, I can just leave this out. I've got little baskets that I keep my knitting in and I can just leave it out. And once I taught the kids and the cat not to touch it, everything was fine. And so I've probably been knitting pretty seriously as the primary hobby now for about 6 months. And yeah, and I've learned so much in that 6 months, and my skills are just, you know, I'm starting to challenge myself with new techniques and skills, and I hope to be able to share that here, because there's so many knitting podcasts out there which are really, the person doing the podcast is an amazing good knitter, and I think from a beginner's perspective sometimes that can be a little bit daunting, because that, you know, talking about all these things and all this code, there's this, you know, this knitter's language that there is, and I know that I found that a little daunting, and so I sort of hope that I can have those conversations, you know, along the way as I learn some of these techniques, and if it can help somebody else out there, then that's amazing, and I would love that. So I am not a stay-at-home mum. I do work almost full-time. I work 4 days a week, and Mondays are my days off, and today is Monday. It is actually school holidays in Australia at the moment in most places. It's the first week of school holidays for us here, and I am having a few days off later in the week, and that's exciting because that means I get to do more knitting. And I work for a public health organisation. I am a project officer, basically. I used to be a radiographer a number of years ago, but it just wasn't flexible enough for the type of mum that I wanted to be, basically. So this is what I do now, and it's exciting, and I do a lot of work in the health promotion area. So and you'll notice that my blog is around that area of discussion as well, although I don't post on it that frequently these days because I am busy, and yes, but I would like to do that more, so watch that space, I guess. Why did I call the blog Wonderwolle? Well, it's a bit of a play on words, obviously. Wonderwool, wonderful, but I just think that wool is such an amazing product. It's, you know, we get it from the sheep and then spin it, and it turns into this twine or string and yarn, and we turn it into fabric, and that whole process is just so amazing, and especially when wool has such amazing properties. So yeah, that's pretty much why, and I hope that people would like to watch and learn a little bit about us in our life here in Australia. We do a fair bit of trekking around the countryside, not literally trekking, but in our car trekking, a lot of day trips and that sort of thing, and I hope that I can share some of that with you along the way, and who knows where things will go, and what we will come to in the future with this podcast. I can't imagine that I will become a knitwear designer. Maybe in the long-term future, but not in the foreseeable future. Like I said, I'm still learning, really. So, if anyone's got any questions, send them through to me on Ravelry, I guess, because I am on Ravelry nearly every day, and it's got the private messaging function. And if people do want to start, you know, if there's enough interest in this podcast, and people want to start a Ravelry group to ask questions and that kind of thing, then I guess we can do that. But we'll wait and see if there's any interest first, I think. I'm not going to count my chickens. So I guess I'm going to break up the podcast into sections like everybody does, I guess, but I tried to be a bit tricky and think of some cute little names. And so for what I'm doing now, so what is on the needles and what I've been working on, I'm going to call that Wonderwolle projects, and then fresh wool for acquisitions. So anything that's come into my house, whether that's yarn in some description, project bags, stitch markers, goodies, fresh wool. And Adventures in the Capital will be the third section, and that's where I'm gonna try and do some video of our city and out and about with my family, and just show people what it's like to live here in Canberra a little bit. And I do have some video from earlier today that that I'll put into the podcast a bit later on. Okay, so then I guess I will start with the finished products or finished projects that have come along in the last little while. Even though nobody's seen what I've been working on, I have finished a few things just this last week. I've got this cute little Milo vest, which is by Tiki Knits on Ravelry, and here it is here, and this is a gift for a friend's 12-month-old. So this is the 12-month-old size, and it's knit in Naturally Loyal DK, and another DK weight brand of a variegated yarn, long color change variegated yarn, which is a little bit I don't know the name of it, and the ball band I had has been lost, and it is on my Ravelry project page for this little vest, but it's the one I put on my Ravelry project page is not the wool name of the wool that I bought. It's just the same wool. It's a really lovely wool, actually. I love knitting. I've knit at least 3 vests with that wool, the 3 Milo vests with that wool, and it's really lovely. And this was my first time knitting with the Naturally Loyal yarn, and it's just a nice plain old DK yarn. There's nothing fancy about it. It's warm and it's nice to knit with, and it makes a nice squishy garter stitch. I'm not sure I would have it as a next to skin garment, especially for a baby, but it's great for this kind of thing. And that green is coming up so amazingly bright on this video. It's awesome. And so that's for my friend's 12-month-old, and I've been promising her that for a while now, and finally got round to finishing it. And the other thing I knit finished this week, also out of that mystery wool. Sorry, my cat is scratching at the door because she likes to hang out in here. So I'm just going to pause and let her in. She's going to want to come now and visit, I'll bet, but we'll see. These little gloves, these little mittens are also made out of the mystery variegated wool. This is a different colorway, but I don't know what it is, and that's really unhelpful, but I'll put it in the show notes because I'll be able to figure out what it is. So here's my cat. Her name is Chicken. Yeah, she's a little bit loud. She just wants to sit on my lap, and now she's trying to knock the camera off the boxes. Come on, sit up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's not very friendly to other people. She likes me, but she's not very friendly. So yeah, these are mittens for my son, and that was just a free pattern on Ravelry, basic children's mitts or something like that. It links to an Afghans for Afghans page, and the patterns on there, and I'll put that link in the show notes as well. But he loves them. I had to, yank them out of his hands to bring them to show on the video because he loves them. So I've made 2 pairs of those out of that wool. Easy little pattern, quick. And what I'm wearing is my Yowza Weigh It shawl by Susan B. Anderson. And this is actually made, this is the Perfectly Reckless colorway, Miss Babs Yowza. So it's the yarn that the pattern was designed for, and I just love it. It is so warm and soft and squishy, and that wool, while it's expensive, is worth every cent, if you ask me. I wear this shawl all the time, and it is so expensive to get that Miss Babs yarn sent to Australia because of the shipping. But there's nothing, I haven't found anything like it here. The colours or the just the feel of the yarn, it's just so soft, and you can wear it against your skin and it's not itchy, and I just love it. Actually, one of my friends bought some after she saw my shawl, and I'm trying to convince her to let me knit the yarn up for her, because she's got a contact dermatitis on her hands at the moment and she can't knit. I'm like, I'll knit it for you, don't you worry, because it's just such a beautiful yarn to knit with, and as you can, it's just come up so beautifully. So I'm really, really happy with this, and it's a gorgeous, it's such an easy to wear shawl. You know, you can wear it draped like this or like a scarf, and it's just, I love it, love it. Although this was my first time doing a picot edge bind off, and that was awful. That took me so long. Probably took me 2 weeks to just do the bind off, because I could only do 10 at a time. I got better as I went along. I think I got faster, but to learn it and to get going, I think I switched to my metal needles as well, so that definitely helped. So that's some recently finished projects. I do have a few things on the needles. I've got quite a lot on the needles at the moment, actually, because I watch too many podcasts and am enabled by too many other podcasters, potentially. So what have I got here? I've got 2 shawls, and I'll start with those. I've got the Thunderstorm MCal Mystery Knit Along by Alicia Plummer going on. And I've knit up to not the most recent clue, the clue before. And I think most people have knit up to this stage now, so it's not really giving anything away. I've got this on my, I don't know what size they are, I think they're size 4 Knit Pro Symphony needles. And this colour of the wool is showing up pretty true. It's a pretty denim sort of blue, and it's got a little bit of a heather sort of marl through it. I don't love this wool. This is I didn't bring my little bowl of ball bands with me. It's a wool from a company here in Australia called Morris and Sons, which is, it's got a few stores, one in Melbourne, one in Sydney, and they do online sales as well. And I was down in Melbourne for work a few weeks ago now, and I just wanted to buy something because I was there and in Melbourne, and I could go in and touch all the wool, and so this is what I bought, because I had another shawl that I was planning to make with it. And then when I started knitting with it, I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. It's not, I was hoping for it to be soft, but it's not really soft. And I think at this stage, I'm just going to keep knitting with it. It's Morris and Sons Empire, which is a 4-ply. I'm just going to keep knitting with it because it might block out beautifully, and I just don't know, because I've never knit with it before. So I'll just keep knitting along. I really like the pattern so far, so if I love it, I can always make it again in another yarn. And somebody I know might love it if I don't love it. So I'm going to finish it and see how it goes. But the next clue for the mystery knit along is a long clue, and I haven't actually started knitting on that yet. So yes, wish me luck because I don't know, with all the other things like you're about to see that I've got on my needles right now, I don't know that I'm going to get time to actually do much. My goal is to do just a little bit every day, so we'll see. The next thing I've picked up here is a pair of socks. I've got this really, it's not coming up so well. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is the second sock. I've got the first sock done. This is the second sock. And I have to say I've been rather inspired by Sarah from Love Sock Wool, because she knits her socks so fast, and I like knitting socks. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but I do, because it's kind of easy. It's something I can take along quite easily, and I don't have to think too hard. I've got the first sock over here behind me, actually, over here. There we go. So this is the Jeck pattern on Ravelry. I can't remember who it's by. I will put that in the show notes. It's pretty simple. It's just a slip stitch pattern, and I think it brings out this particular variegated yarn quite beautifully. This yarn is one from an Etsy seller called Muck Valley, TOOMUCVALLEY yarns. It's she has sporadic. She's got lots of different bases and whatnot, and this is the second. Sorry, this was the first yarn that I bought from her, and this is just I did a normal heel flap heel 64 cast on, and I don't have any sock blockers yet. I'm not that fancy just yet. So, and I think it's actually a little bit long on me. I think I'm gonna have to. I'm in the middle of, well, I've just done the heel flap on the second sock, and once I've finished that second sock, I think I'm gonna have to rip this one back and take it up a little bit and re-knit the toe, because when I wear it, and it hasn't been blocked yet, but when I wear it, when I've tried it on, it feels a little bit loose, and I know that socks just get looser, so I may have to re-knit that one a little bit. But this yarn is so beautiful. It's really squishy and soft, and I knit my socks with 2.5mm needles, and I've got this one here on a Knit Picks Caspian 2.5mm needle, and I really like these needles. I think they're a good price, and they're not too bendy. I put a lot of pressure on my knitting needles when I knit, so they're not too bendy, which is nice. Although I did break a pair, my very first pair I did break, but I use that like, I cut the cable off and I use it like a little cable, like a cable needle if I need to hold stitches or something, or if I need a spare needle for whatever reason. So yes, and I made a mistake actually on this one. I've done a slip stitch heel rather than just a straight heel, but that's okay. Only I will know, and they are for me, so it doesn't really matter. So I really like this wool. If you can get your hands on some of her fingering weight sock yarn, it's just lovely. So I'll put that one away. I've got that one is in a little project bag that I made for myself. It's got little ducks on it. It's cute. The other thing which I've got over here, which is nearly finished, and I'll probably finish it tonight, I would say, is my Cables for Lara hat. And this is by Mina from the Knitting Expat podcast. She has designed this hat pattern, and I've actually knit it in the yarn that she used in her original pattern design. It is Rico Chunky Melange, and I bought that from loveknitting.com. And I was a little bit nervous actually, because I don't really like knitting with acrylic, and I noticed when I was buying it that it was 50% acrylic, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. But it's really, really nice. The fabric that this has made is just beautiful, and I can't wait to wear it actually. It's going to be awesome for soccer on Saturday mornings. because it's just started to get really cold here for soccer on Saturday mornings. So I ordered 2 balls of the Rico Chunky Melange from Love Knitting, but interestingly they weren't quite the same. The second ball it was a lot darker, and I actually had to go in and find the next nearest color to blend when I started on the second ball. And I may even have to order a 3rd ball from Love Knitting to be able to do the pom-pom on the top of the hat, because the remaining wool in that, there was a color in there that I didn't really like. It was a really green, olive green, and that's just not my color. And I sort of skipped over that color, but there's a lot of that in this second ball. So hopefully I have enough to finish the hat. I'm pretty sure I do. And I've just got one more cable and the decrease to go. And it's a beautiful color. I really should go and get my little box of ball bands, because everybody's going to want to know what the colorway was, but I'll put it in the show notes. It's on my Ravelry page too. I think it's on my Ravelry project page. I've got a little dog stitch marker. I made that one. So yes, and I really like it. It's easy to knit. It's not hard to knit at all, this pattern. I have to say that cables are not my favorite thing to knit with. It puts a lot of strain on my hands, but hey, you have to go through pain for getting something beautiful at the other end, don't you? So that's that one. And then another sock. I have way too many things on the needles right now. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I cast on too many socks, and at the moment I'm just working my way through the Jack socks, and this pair of, these are just vanilla socks, and this is the first sock of this pair, and this one's for my son. It's just a really cheap sock yarn from Spotlight in Australia, and it's called Not Just Socks, and this color at the top here, it's naturally Wakiwi, Wakiwi, I think, and that yarn is beautiful. It's a merino nylon possum blend, and it is so soft and lovely, and it's only sold in 50-gram balls, which makes it really expensive, but I figure I bought this ball of wool from Spotlight, sorry, just to make socks for the kids, and because I'm not spending money to buy beautiful sock yarn for my children who just destroy things, basically. And one of the reasons I wanted to make the boys' socks is because they do destroy socks, and I thought, hey, it might actually save me money in the long run if I can make them socks and mend them before they destroy them, but we'll see how that goes. So what I've done there is I'm putting the green color on the cuff and toes for my bigger boy, so that I can tell whose socks are whose. So my little boy, he's got I've already knit his, and they're in the wash, but his are just all the black and grey, and these ones are for the big boy. So can you see that it's not very pretty. It's really utilitarian, and it's very boy, very, very boy, but it's actually really nice yarn. It's 75% wool and 25% polyamide, I think, and yeah, and I think our local Spotlight is out of it, and I bought a ball in this colorway and a ball in another orangey colorway. So and that they brought it out in 4 different colorways. So, but sock yarn always sells out really quickly at Spotlight. It's I don't know about other parts of Australia, but in Canberra, it's actually really hard to buy good quality. Or it's not hard to buy good quality wool, because you can. There's 2 local yarn stores and you can buy good quality wool there. But affordable good quality wool is not. There is none. So that's nice. So I tend to buy a lot from the internet. I buy a lot on Love Knitting and a lot from Knit Picks. And you can see over here in my little stash cupboard that it is pretty much all Knit Picks in there. There's a little bit of hand spun that I bought at a market. Oh, here's the other colorway. So this is the orange colorway of the Motive Vera, Not Just Socks. And so it's quite pretty. It's just a bit, it's basic, and socks that you don't mind getting too wrecked, I suppose. So there you go. And oh, that's the ball band for the wool that Estate. It is Morris Estate, Morris & Sons Estate 4-ply, and that's the one from the Thunderhead MCal shawl. And I have one more thing on the needles. I know it's ridiculous, right? There's so many things on my needles right now. This one has been on my needles for a while. I don't have the ball band, but this is Manos del Uruguay Fino in the Amethyst Earring colorway. And this is the beginning of the Quaker Ridge Shawlette by Susan B. Anderson. And this yarn is just so amazing. I sit there and it's so beautiful. It's so soft and lovely. And so far it looks like it's going to have a really nice drape too. It's just beautiful. You can't see the little, oh, you can see the little variegations in the colour. Oh, that's just got a bit washed out there. So so I'm knitting this one a bit slowly, I think, because I've got no deadlines on it. It's you know, it's garter ridges and stockingette and a few increases, and I just knit on it on Friday nights, usually when I'm watching TV, and whatever gets done gets done. It'll get finished eventually. The bind off edge has a row of beading on it, and that'll be my first time doing any beading, incorporating beads into knitting. So I guess that's my next challenge. And toe up socks is also another challenge that's on my agenda. So, but this one, I think this will be a fairly big shawl when it's done, because I've got, oh, it's all tangled up. Oops. I've got, you know, that's the first ball, and I've got another ball, and that's all supposed to go into this shawl. So we'll see. We'll watch this space on that one. We'll see how much I get done on that in the next 2 weeks. Something tells me that this one is not going to be my priority in the next 2 weeks. It'll be getting that next clue done on the Thunderstorm MCal. So that's it for on the needles right now, and it's actually not, because there's other things as well on my needles, but I don't need to share everything with you this time round, because then I'll have more to share next time. And I am being quite, I'm trying to be good and not cast on anything new in the next 2 weeks, because I get a little bit overwhelmed when I've got lots on the go. And oh, that's a bit of a lie, actually. I am going to cast on something new, but I'll talk about that in acquisitions in just a moment. So so that's all my cast-ons, not my cast-ons, but the things that I've got going. And I'll move on to fresh wool now. I'll move on to the acquisitions, because I don't really have much in the way of acquisitions this week. I've got things coming in the mail, but I haven't got much actually here yet. I'm expecting a Knit Picks order and it should have been here by now, so I'm a bit concerned about that one, but hopefully it'll come in the next few days. I did get something interesting and exciting in the mail today actually. Bendigo Woolen Mills is a mill down in Victoria, quite well known in Australia. It makes fairly nice yarn. I've got a few different yarns from Bendigo that are sitting around and I've used to make different things. I've got this little bear up here is wearing a cardigan that's made from Bendigo Woolen Mills yarn, and that's just their, I think it was the luxury 8-ply, and it's lovely. I don't have any worries with that at all. But when you've become a customer of Bendigo, they send you their these little updates of their limited edition or new release wools that are coming out. And so this one came in the mail today, and so you get these little brochures with any new wools that they might have for release. And then on the inside there's a little shade card of all the new shades, and it's amazing. I love it because while they do internet orders and I can order over the internet, you can feel the yarn and you can have a real look at the colors, and it makes it so much easier to make a decision. And I love that. And so this has come today and I've gone, oh, what can I make with one of these yarns? Because this wool is so soft. It is it's a 16% milk fiber and 84% wool, and I've never seen a yarn made with milk fiber before, and it's so soft. And the colors are really summery spring sort of colors. So I'm thinking maybe a cardigan, or maybe with this pink color here in the cardigan. It's called Venus, actually, that color. I also like the green and the purple, although that purple's probably not quite, I don't think I could do a whole cardigan in that purple. But the other beautiful thing about Bendigo Woolen Mills wools is the skeins are very generous. So they're 200 gram skeins, and some of them have up to 400 meters on the skeins. I'll just grab one down here and show you. So this is a skein of their classic. It's a 5-ply, and I have plans for this one for a cardigan. It's a great color, isn't it? It's showing a little bright on the screen there, but it's called Guava. And yeah, so it's really generous size skeins, and I only needed to buy 2 of these in order to have enough yarn to make a cardigan. So they're, for us here in Australia, I don't know if they post overseas, but for here in Australia, it is I find it a great affordable way to buy yarn that for big projects. And I often buy baby cardigan yarn there as well. So that's Bendigo Woolen Mills. And the other thing that's come in the mail this week, and I've left it all packaged because it's so much more exciting when you're opening a present, I think. And it might be a bit loud, sorry. And now it's all tangled. The knot's all tangled. So these yarns are from, I would say, what I'm considering to be my favourite yarn company, which is Tumuck Valley Yarns, and I'll show you the little business card here. Tumuck Valley Yarns on Etsy, and this one here is 80% superwash, 20% nylon, hand dyed. And I've got 2 hanks of this one, and it is just, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I love it. The colour, I saw it on her Etsy shop and I was just like, that colour, I have to have it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I have to have it. And it's just like the other one. It's soft and squishy, and it's got a really high twist. I love the base. It's so nice. So that will probably become a shawl. Next time I see a shawl pattern that needs a larger amount of wool, that will probably be what that becomes. And then the other thing I got from her this week, and her name is Nicole, is this gorgeous skein, which is sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkles. Not really. And for this, I bought this yarn with a purpose. I'm going to make the Sunrays shawl by Mina Phillip of the Knitting Expat podcast with this yarn, to join in her Sunrays Cal that's going along. It's going to the middle or end of August, I think. So I saw this and I was like, oh my God, that colour, it's just beautiful. And then when it came in the mail and I saw the sparkles, I was like, oh, that's a lot of sparkles. I don't know if I can do that many sparkles, but it's actually not too bad. I think it'll just catch the light nicely. So I'm excited to cast that one on, and I think, I don't know when I'll cast it on, maybe this coming weekend when I've got a little bit more time while I'm home on the school holidays. But so I will be casting on something new, and we'll see how much progress I've got between now and the next podcast. We'll see. So yeah, that's pretty nice. I was pretty happy with that. And yeah, there's lots of things on their way to me in the mail, but nothing has arrived in the last couple of days. Sorry, my phone rang. I'm using my phone to video and my phone rang. And I can't remember where I was up to. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what I was talking about. But anyway, so the next part that I was going to share with everybody is a little adventure that we went on earlier today. I didn't know that every year there's a yarn bombing display, I guess, at just up the road from us, and I'd forgotten about it completely. But we went to a park up there today, and I saw the sign and I was like, oh, I'm going to take some video and share this place with anybody who happens to watch. So I'm going to insert the video that I took earlier today here in this part of the video of the podcast, and I hope you enjoy this little segment. Okay. Hi, we've come to the National Arboretum today just for a bit of an outing. I've just taken the kids to the playground, which is quite exciting. I would have taken some video, but it was really, really busy, lots of kids, because it's school holidays here. It's the winter school holidays. So it's quite new, the National Arboretum. It's the space where there used to be a massive pine tree plantation, and about I can't remember how many years ago, but there was a really big fire a few years ago, and it basically wiped out the plantation. And one of the reasons the fire was so bad was because pine trees basically explode when they're on fire. So the National Arboretum has it's got hundreds of species of trees from all over the world, and it's been cultivated as a space to celebrate nature, and it's a beautiful space for visitors to come. And in the winter they do something a little bit special called the Warm Trees. I think it's called the Warm Trees, and I'll take you through a little video tour of some of the warm trees in just a minute. Behind me there's a sculpture. It says, you probably can't read it, it does say this brown land. I'll pan out this brown land, and it's right up on top of the hill, and you can see it sort of when you're driving around Canberra. There's an amazing view, and I'll do a pan of the view too in a moment. But behind me, you can see over in the background over there, up here, that's Telstra Tower. That is probably the biggest landmark in Canberra. Once you've been here for a while, you or Black Mountain Tower it's also known as. Once you've been here for a while, you kind of can tell where you are around Canberra by where you are in relation to the tower. So just in a moment or two, I'll take you through a tour of the warm trees. This is just looking out from the top of the Arboretum Hill, out over Lake Billy Griffin and Parliament House. You can see it's quite stunning. I'm sorry if the wind noise is a little bit bad. And then going around this brown land backwards. There we go. Sorry if it makes anyone sick. I'm trying to go slow and not wobble too much. There we go. So as you can see, it's quite new. And that where I've got the camera on right now, that's the main building. And it has absolutely stunning views as well. So it's a great place to come and visit if you do come to Canberra, just to check it out and have a look at the amazing views. So the light's not very good, but you can see basically it's a yarn bombing exhibition of trees. All the trees in the pine grove have been yarn bombed, and they do this every year, and it's kind of sweet. And I'm sorry if it's making anyone a bit dizzy, the light's not good. Look at all the different walls all over the trees. My kids have just run off down the hill. So there you go, warm trees. It's a bit cute. So I hope you enjoyed that little segment. I did try and film something else on the weekend. We went on a little day trip up to a little town about half an hour's drive outside of Canberra called Bungendore, and there was a handmade festival market on. And I tried to film, but my family were there and my husband was there asking me if I was making a documentary and calling me a tourist. And I decided that it was probably better to just film when I was on my own or with just the kids, because they think it's great. They don't ask any questions. So the last little section I was just going to call Wonderwolle, because I thought that if there is questions that people want to ask, or you know, if there's anything that I've been pondering this week, this past fortnight, which there's nothing off the top of my head right now, or anything that I've learnt in the past little while, new skills that I wanted to share, I thought that I would talk about it in this section. I don't have anything this week, but in a fortnight's time, who knows? So that's what I'll use the little last section of the podcast for. So that's going to be it for today. I haven't got anything else to talk about, but I really hope that people want to watch. I love this podcasting community. I think it's just such a beautiful way to connect with other people, and it feels like when you're sitting there watching a podcast, it feels like you are talking to a friend, and I just really enjoy it. And I wanted to give back to other people, to the community, and to really be able to connect with other knitters. I don't get out to we have local knit nights and that type of thing, but I don't really get out because I work and I'm so tired in the evenings that if I'm going out till 10 o'clock at night, it's just not going to happen. So I do go to a local Knitters Guild meeting once a month, or I try to. But and I have another friend who knits, who I see fairly regularly. But it's so nice to talk to other people who understand what you're talking about when it comes to your knitting obsession. And most of my friends don't, I have to say. So yes, that's why I really wanted to start a podcast, and to just be able to connect with other people who enjoy the same things. And I like I said, I would love to share that with you if you're watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed the podcast, and I'd really like to thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'm going to try and do a fortnightly recording schedule. So, you know, that will give me time to finish objects and to have some content. I think I don't do enough in 1 week to have a weekly recording schedule. So I think for me, a fortnightly recording schedule is a much better option. Yeah, so I'll sign off now, and craft yourself happy and have a lovely 2 weeks. See you later.